Hey man, so I was going to get into this myself, but I found this video that it's quite entertaining. So let's get into, now this is the first one. If you want to hear the second one, we can. But my reaction to this gentleman explaining it, I ain't heard it. This was sent to me on doing the code because somebody, one of my homies knew that I was going to get into the top 10 to the universal cop code. So let's get into universal cop code radio chatter, because a lot of y'all hear 10-4, good buddy, over and out, and you don't know what that means. Well, today, hopefully this gentleman will break it down to tell a little story straight out the box from the gifted category. All right, brother, hit it.
Routed around police radio codes, also known as 10 codes.
Go ahead and follow Officer 401. I'll leave a link in the bio.
Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. I get a ton of questions and emails from people asking me exactly how police 10 codes work. And I almost did not do a video on this because police codes are actually different throughout the nation. But I decided to do a video on the most common.
And that is true because, and we'll get into that one too. I'm going to do a video on the mnemonic code. I think that's how you say it.
10 codes that are used in Georgia. Now, I'm not actually going to go down the entire list of 10 codes because there's over 100 of them for one. Mainly because I don't know them all. There's a ton of 10 codes that we rarely, if ever, use. But I am going to explain them.
Okay, and I can elaborate because I've heard them pretty much in a couple states.
Most common ones and how we use them on the radio. First, let's start with 10-0. 10-0 means use caution. Now this can actually be used interchangeably depending on the situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be about a person. Let's say you're going into an unstable structure and you tell the other officers that are arriving, use 10-0, structure's not stable. But more often than not, 10-0 is usually used in accordance with a person. Let's say you're responding to a call, they give out the suspect's name on the radio, maybe another officer is familiar with this person, and they say, hey, just want to give you a heads up, use 10-0 with him, he likes to fight police. 10-1. 10-1 means I can't understand your transmission. So if somebody gets on the radio and they're like real foggy or maybe they're breaking up, you tell them, hey unit, you're 10-1, can you 10-9, which is repeat. 10-2 means signal is clear. So if I can understand what you're saying, I'll say 10-2. 10-3 in my department is used as basically to shut down radio operations other than one particular call that you're on. So let's say you're responding to a burglary, you don't want a bunch of radio traffic coming over your radio, you can tell dispatch, can you please 10-3 the net? So basically what dispatch will do is send out a mass notification on the radio, hey, every unit that's not involved in that particular call, go to channel 2 with your main traffic. 10-4.
Okay, so y'all know that at the time it used to be ham radio. Now it's more synchronized, but ham radios, think about that. Think about 10-4, good buddy. No, he's about to say it.
10-4 is pretty much universal. I don't know of any department that does not use 10-4. It's just acknowledgement. So you tell me something, I say 10-4. I acknowledge that I understand. We don't really use 10-5. 10-6 means busy. If I'm going out on paperwork and I don't want to receive any calls, I'll tell dispatch, I'll be 10-6 until further. 10-7 is a code that a lot of officers use when they go off duty. I personally don't use that. I use what's called 10-42. 10-8 means you are now cleared up from whatever you were doing and you are available to take calls. 10-9, as I stated before, means repeat. 10-10 is a fight. 10-11 is an animal complaint. 10-12 means standby, and this can be used interchangeably too. If dispatch calls you and you need a second because you're doing something, you can tell them 10-12 just a second. But a standby can also be, let's say a boyfriend and girlfriend break up, boyfriend needs to go to the house to get his belongings. That is also called a 10-12 or a standby. You're there to stand by while he grabs his clothes, maintain the peace, and let him go. 1013 is a weather alert. We don't really use that, but we actually use a separate 1013 code that's used by the hospital, which is basically an involuntary detainment for psychological reasons. 1014 is a
They use the psychological. But in California, they say, we got a 5150. Yeah, yeah. That's the same.
A prowler. Let's say you hear somebody behind your house, dispatch would give that out as a 1014. 1015 is a burglary. Now, with my department, they actually give a 1015 out in two different ways. You either have a 1015 already, which means it already occurred, or you have a 1015 in progress. And usually whenever you have a 1015 in progress, they send off this emergency tone on the radio to let everybody know that this is an emergency. 1016, good old domestics. 1017 is an armed robbery. That also is used kind of like 1015, interchangeably, either 1017 already or 1017 in progress. That also gets an emergency tone. 1018 means hurry up. So if I'm on a call, I'm about to fight with somebody and I'm asking for backup, I need you to get here 1018. 1019 is an interesting code because even in Georgia, a lot of different departments use it differently. With the two departments I'm at, whenever they say 1019, that means return to the station. Technically, it means return to, but we always used it as you need to come to the station. So if I'm calling an officer, I need to talk to him about something. Maybe he messed up something on his report he needs to fix. Call his badge number, need you to 1019 for me. 1020 is very universal too. That is location. What's your 1020? 1021 is a phone call. So a lot of times I'll get on the radio, hey, badge number, are you clear for 1021? Or give me a 1021. 1022 means disregard. Let's say I'm on a call, I have a couple other units and it's more calm than maybe I anticipated. I can tell them on the radio, you can 1022. So that basically means they can go 10-8 now to resume their normal patrol. But
the reason why I'm not interrupting him is because I don't know a lot of this. I know that we have a different codes. Like we have a 187 in progress. Those are things that I know. Yeah, we have a 211 in progress. Those are, but who knows? I just wanted to do this because I thought it was pretty cool because I heard. We do a lot of body cam footage around here, so I wanted to kind of like maybe you might hear something here that might get the scoop, and you might be able to leave comments below in the next body cam footage we wear.
We also use it on the radio as kind of a never mind. 1023 is one of our very commonly used codes, and that means I have arrived on scene. So like for me, I would say 401 dispatch, I'm 1023 once I arrive at any scene. 1024 basically means you have completed your call. I don't really use it that much. 1025 means meet me somewhere. So I'll call another officer, 401 to 402, can you 1025 with me at such and such location? Now the next three are used very commonly, and this is mainly on traffic stops. You have 1027, 1028, 1029. Whenever I am running a 1027, that is somebody's license. So I'll usually get on the radio and say, dispatch, can you run I'll say 27, 28, 29. You're supposed to use the full 10 code, but those of us that have been doing this a while, you kind of take some shortcuts here and there on the radio. So I'll get on the radio and I'll say, dispatch, can I have a 27, 28, 29 through Georgia? So dispatch then knows, I need you to check a license, I need you to check a license plate, which is a 1028, and then a 1029 is a wanted check or stolen check on both of those. 1030 is not used that often. It means unnecessary radio traffic. There are some supervisors that should use that more often. There are several officers that like to...
Trust me on that. Even in ham radio life, we need a 1030.
hear themselves talk on the radio, and they want to give a full narrative of their call and hog up the radio for 30 seconds. Not good officer safety practice. 1031 is a weapons offense. We use that sometimes, but not very often. 1032 is a pistol. So anytime like shots are fired or maybe somebody's seen with a gun, dispatch will give it out and say person was last seen with the 1032. 1035 was used more in my last department than it is now, and that basically means that I'm out somewhere, but I'm still available for calls. So if I'm getting out at the station to do paperwork that's not necessarily, I don't need to be tied up for, I'll just say I'm 1035 at the station. 1036 is a time check. Not many people use that anymore because everybody has watches and phones, but that will get dispatch to tell you what the current time is. 1037 is a suspicious call. Now that can either be vehicle or person. So if somebody sees a vehicle that's backed up behind a business, they'll call it out as a 1037 vehicle behind, say, Home Depot. 1038 is a traffic stop. Now my last department used 1038. My current department uses what's called traffic, which is still hard for me to get used to because for 8 years I called 1038. But now I have to say 401 dispatch traffic. 1039 is very similar to 1038. The difference is 1039 is usually used whenever you're just doing a property check or if you're the backup officer on a call. The main officer usually goes 10-8 because there's usually a disposition code that has to go with that. Now, if I respond to a call and there's no report needed, I'll say 10-8 SVC. That means service provided, no report needed. However, there's also other dispositions like 10-8 code I India, where you did an incident report, and that way dispatch can log it and send you basically what you need to do your report. But
you hear a lot of that 10, yeah. You hear that a lot, Foxtrot and all that. I hear it a lot in body cam footage. That's why I wanted to show you all this. This is real good.
Say I'm the main officer.
That's why I'm not interrupting, because look, I ain't a cop. I'm a criminal.
On a call, I've got two other people that come to back me up. Whenever they leave, they are not going to go 10-8. They are going to go 1039. 1040 is a warrant. So they might get on the radio and say, person has
I got a 1040 easy. I'll do you about it.
1040 through such and such agency. 1041 means on duty. So whenever I first get in the car in the morning or in the afternoon, if I'm on night shift, I'll call out 401 dispatch, 1041. Then the favorite 10 code of all of us, 1042. I'm sure you can imagine if 1041 means on duty, 1042 means off duty. 1043 means murder or to kill. So a lot of times dispatch will give it out as complainant stated that the suspect said he was going to 1043 everybody. 1044 is suicidal thoughts. We don't really use 1045. I don't even know what that is. So 1046 is citizen assist. So it could be like a broken down vehicle on the side of the road, or it could be somebody calling in that needs assistance. 1049 means speeding. So a lot of times dispatch will give those out as BOLOs, or be on the lookouts, and say vehicle was last seen southbound on such.
Yeah, you hear that in a lot of cop shows. Let's send a BOLO out. That's what it is. Be on the lookout.
Such and such road, 1049, 1094, which is reckless driving. Last one for this video is 1050. Now 1050 in Georgia is a motor vehicle collision or accident. Now there are also disposition codes that go with 1050. Usually what we use is either 1050 for just a regular accident with no injuries. You have 1050I, which means an accident with injuries, or you have a 1050F Foxtrot, which means a fatality has occurred. So that's it, guys. I'm actually going to break this up into two separate videos. The reason for that, I kind of wanted to keep these short. There's only going to be two of them. So the next video, part 2, will be 51 through 100. Now, again, another thing to keep in mind, guys, is every department is using 10 codes kind of differently. In Georgia, a lot of us use it the same, but every department is different, you know, and there are some departments like in Florida or like Idaho and stuff, they use signals. They don't even use 10 codes. So I cannot tell you about those. The only signals that we use, there's only two of them. There is signal 100 and there is signal 300. So signal 100 basically means that it is a wanted person. Now that can kind of be used interchangeably with 1040, which means they have a warrant. Signal 300 is when you accidentally press your yellow emergency button and now your radio is sending out this panic to dispatch. Dispatch 401, signal 300 is everything 10-4. So that's it for today, guys. I know this is a short one. I'm trying to get a video out. I'm going to be working all weekend long, so I will not have a chance to do another video. But hopefully Monday I will be able to get out part 2 of the 10 code series. Now, something I want to bring up to you guys, if you have questions about either the 10 codes I went over, or if there's a different way you want me to approach the other half, let me know in the comment section and I will actually kind of tweak that for the next video and try to answer some questions for you guys. Either way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I will try to address them accordingly. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week and I will see you guys very, very soon.
All right. Now, I like that because he broke it down better than I could. I'm being fair with you because I had a laundry list of what bro code, what I thought meant. But anyways, I'm glad I ran into that one. I thought I'd share it with you because, hey, we all need to know what those are. And like I said, 10-4, 10-4. I'm 1042. I'm out.